Hello everyone, this is Jessica Conrad from the Patents Project, and I wanted to briefly go over AutoCrat and the 10 or so steps that you'll need to create your first AutoCrat run. So again, AutoCrat is a free add-on on Google Sheets that allows you to go through a spreadsheet and turn it into a mail merge or creating documents, whether those are PDFs or Google documents, and being able to push that out to the people who need to see that information. So this is the welcome spreadsheet that's part of I Love Data 2, the advanced course. So I'm going to go over to the second tab, Student Score Scenario. In Student Score Scenario, I have about 99 students with their first and last name, their homeroom teacher, scores related to reading fluency and math fluency, parent emails, student names, passwords, things like that. So one of the things you're going to do in this column H, there are no emails in there, so go ahead and put your email in there and drag this thing down so that you have, I don't know, at least 5 or 6 emails in there just to test and make sure that this is working properly. So again, column H, pop your email in there. Next thing we're going to do, once we have our spreadsheet with our emails in there, and you also have a copy of that progress report example, I'll go over some of the features in that in a second. You're going to want to get the AutoCrat add-on. So you're going to go over here in this tab for add-ons. You're going to get the add-on. And the tab is called AutoCrat. Looks like this. You would install it. If you see something that says that this extension or this add-on has not been whitelisted by your school, you would need to contact your IT department and request it to be whitelisted. Certainly worth a conversation with your school district to make sure that this is in line with privacy and the rules in your school district, but most school districts allow this add-on through New Vision's Cloud Lab. All right. So I have my add-on installed, I have my sheet ready, and I have my template. Before I even get started in AutoCrat, you're going to want to create your template. I'm going to point out some features in this. So what AutoCrat and its cousin Formule uses are these double chevrons, that's what I call them, these little side carets, and the beginning and end of it form a sort of blank that you would find in something like Mad Libs, if you remember Mad Libs. So it knows to pull something in the spreadsheet and fill it in with this. I also added double chevrons around the word today, so it's going to pull the day's date of the date that this report will be run, or this AutoCrat will be run. So you can see more double chevrons for other columns that are in my spreadsheet. See, MESA scores, reading fluency, math. Reading fluency, MESA is math. So I have username and password, and then the homeroom teacher name. So you notice that I have not all what is inside these double chevrons match up exactly. Fortunately, in AutoCrat, you can be a little sloppy with whether it matches exactly with the column when you're in the Google template. Now you're going to see on the back end when we start creating this, there are some times when you cannot be sloppy at all. You need to make sure that what is inside these double chevrons matches exactly to what these column headers are. All right, let's go ahead and run the AutoCrat. I'm going to go into add-ons, AutoCrat, launch. There's no new merge jobs yet, so I need to create a new job. I'm going to name that job, and I would always recommend dating what you name that job. Demo job. At any point, I can hit this red save button and come back to this job, but we're going to do this all in one go. Hit next, and now I can choose a template. I want to make sure that grab it from Drive because I already created it. It's all ready to go. Here's my template over here. And AutoCrat just scanned that template and noticed, see in this next tab, where all those tags are from here. hit scanned, and grabbed everything that was in between those double chevrons and plugged it into here. So now I just need to map them. I need to tell it where it goes. So over here, Merge tab, it thinks right now I'm on the Welcome tab. All that information was in Student Score Scenario. Remember, it's this tab down at the bottom, Student Score Scenario. And now I can map it to the correct column. So name goes with name, last name over here, fluency, math, Mises. Eggs weren't mapped, went away, and everything is matched up correctly. Now I need to call what each of these are going to create a Google Doc in this example, and each of them needs its own name. So I'm going to call this Progress Report. I'm going to use that date again I'm going to call this for student last name. I'm just going to use the last name and the day's date as my file settings for my file name. Keep in mind, this is where you cannot get sloppy. Last over here is a capital L, and that's exactly what I need to put in here. Otherwise, AutoCrat won't know what information to pull. My type, I can choose a Google Doc or a PDF. I'm going to stick with the Google Doc because I can show you some more examples. I have an option of choosing a multiple output mode or single output mode. So in this example, each student is going to get their own separate report, and the person receiving it can't see the other reports. This one will create lots and lots of reports. I can set it up where it's just one document, but it's batched together so each student is on its own page. Really great for teachers who just need to print everything out in one file. This is something where each one needs to be separate. All right, I'm going to hit next. I'm going to tell it what file to go into. Pretty straightforward. Dynamic reference folder reference is a little fancy. I'm not really going to go into that, but there is a way to set this up where it goes into the correct folder that you might maybe set up by homeroom teacher. So it automatically organizes that for you. I'm not going to go into it, but if you have the cheat sheet for going through the entire I Love Data, there's a really nice tutorial, a video tutorial and step-by-step tutorial on how to set up dynamic folder references. Merge condition. This is going to be important for this situation. You may not have a merge condition, but I'm going to set up a merge condition. I want to make sure over here I have a column that says parent permission obtained. And in this example, my school district says that I need to receive parent permission to send things by email, like progress reports. So I have a list of who has given me parent permission and who has not, and AutoCrat's going to take care of it for me to make sure that I'm not sending it to someone who hasn't given me permission. So I'm going to scroll down here to parent permission obtained, and it's only going to send if it says yes. And again, don't get sloppy or miss the detail in this form. Yes is lowercase, so make sure that yes and yes, they equal exactly. Share docs and send emails. I'm going to click yes. I'm going to share it. I can set this Google Doc just like you can share any other kind of Google Doc. I can make it editable. I can make it comment only. Anyone with the link can view, anyone with the link can edit. Or I can set this up where it creates a Google Doc that's editable for me, but for the people receiving this email, they get a PDF, which makes a lot of sense because I don't necessarily want anyone to edit my progress reports. So I have it as a PDF. I can set it up whether they can reshare. I can also set this up so it sends from a generic no reply email address, which might be really helpful if one person is setting up this mail merge, but the people that they need to respond to might be various different people. All right. So now comes the time where I can set up this email to be exactly what I need it to be for each person. So over here, I'm going to use my double chevrons and I'm going to grab that parent email. That's who it's going to send to. Double chevrons, parent email. It's all lowercase with one space in between. Can also CC it to whoever I want it to. Progress report for Oh, let's do student first name. All right, take a look at that and see if you can imagine what a correct looking AutoCrat would look like. The ninth and last step is, or ninth step before our 10th step, is to add and remove job triggers. If I have this set up on a form, it makes a lot of sense in most cases to turn that on to run every time someone submits the form. It automatically triggers it to send something through AutoCrat. So you can turn that on, or you can set it up to run on a time trigger anywhere between every so many minutes to every hour or every 24 hours, so once a day. But I'm not going to set up any form triggers because this is a form where I wanted to make sure all of my stuff came in all at once, and I'm not expecting any more data to come in through this form. So I'm not going to add form triggers. I'm going to hit save, and then we're ready for our 10th and last step. And that is to hit play. As you can see, AutoCrat is thinking and processing, and it knows that 4 rows will be merged. The mail merge will happen for 4 of these rows. It will automatically create 3 new columns. Let's see if I can move this out of the way. The first column has a ID number associated just with that mail merge, so it gives you a little bit of information should you need to troubleshoot. The second one is the long link for that Google Doc, and then the third one is a link with the title of your Google Doc. The last one is also really helpful. Tells you the status of that merge. So here, document created successfully, emailed to, and gives you all the information and the timestamp of that job. So if you ever need to go back and see, okay, did it send and who did it send to? Really helpful. Here we are in my email. I received the email correctly with all the right information, and then there's a PDF with all of my students' correct information. So that is AutoCrat, a really great way to combine a lot of information and share it out to the people who need to see it. So that's AutoCrat. If you're interested in I Love Data or any of our other training or intensive support for Indiana Pre-K-12 public schools, reach out at patinsproject.org. That's PATINS project.org.